What's up, everyone? My name is Blue, and we are back with some more malicious compliance posts. Doing exactly what people tell you to do, whether it's good for them or not. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. And with that, let's get into it. My manager thought hiding my quota would make me work more. I started working at a chain supermarket in November 2019. I worked as a Cap 2 associate, stocking shelves, unloading trucks, stuff like that. My supervisor when I started was amazing. She had some higher expectations than possible for me only working there for a month, but generally, I would get a quota, say, 8 hours, and would have to get that section done in that time frame. Any time exceeding the 8-hour workday I had would warrant someone getting sent over from a smaller section of our department to help me wrap it up. Skip ahead another month, and she has to go on leave for about a month. My average quota gets up to about 14 to 16 hours a day, and our manager gets moved to the night shift. In comes a new manager. This guy was a nightmare. I stopped getting help in the juice and water section that I worked and ended up with a few large pallets left at night for the overnight crews because, like I said, I was getting 14 to 16 hour quotas to fulfill in my 8-hour shift. Once the DM stopped helping him make the sheets and gave him control, he started pulling me to the side and constantly told me to work faster, to which I would reply, "I'm working as fast as I can. I'm getting double the amount of work to do in the same amount of time." He doesn't listen. Then comes the first week of February. I check my department, still working in juice and water. Great, my specialty. I look over at the quota. It's blank. I think nothing of it, get my usual amount of pallets, and don't finish them all. This goes on for about a week before he comes up to me again.
OP, you aren't getting your quota done on time.
I can't get it done on time if I can't see the amount of time it's supposed to take. Plus, it hasn't changed in quantity since January. I'm still getting a bunch of freight to move to the floor.
You really need to start finishing your quota either way. Overnights are complaining.
Can you at least send someone over from paper and chem? The fastest aisles, usually done in 4 hours.
No, you have to do what you can do.
Here comes the malicious compliance. I still wasn't getting my quotas printed, but everyone else was. I timed how long it took me to unload and stock a pallet and an L cart, what they use to haul TVs to your vehicle and such. My average time was an hour and 30 minutes for each pallet, which I had to move 2,500 pounds of liquids by myself onto the floor using a normal jack. Carts took me about 30 minutes. My average night had 2 carts and 7 to 8 pallets from the GM truck and the product that gets pulled in the morning. Every day, we had to unload trucks for a different department that worked at the same time as us and take an hour lunch. That takes up about an hour and 20 minutes of my 8-hour workday. We also had to pull everything unloaded from the GM truck to the floor for overnights an hour before closing. From then on, I started checking out the pallets and carts, then wrote in the time that it would take me on the quota sheets. Still around 13 hours of labor on a light night, including unloading the other truck for the other department. I stop unloading the trucks that come in and taking half lunches and no breaks. They required 15-minute breaks 2 hours before and after lunch. I ask my friend in the aisle next to me if they can grab the coffee, tea, syrups, anything else that was technically theirs that I still had to stock for them. They had no problem with it, and it took about a full pallet and a cart away from my time. I started staying late and stopped pulling GM freight for the overnight crew. After a large check full of overtime and scolding from higher-ups on skipping my breaks, my manager finally says something.
Why aren't you helping out with the trucks?
You told me to just worry about my quota.
You need to start helping out your coworkers. And you can't skip breaks and lunches and work late. That gets me in trouble and you.
Well, I need to get the quota done. You told me that's what I had to do no matter what.
You need to get it done and still help.
I can't do that in the time I'm given.
I can see I'm getting nowhere. Just go.
Every day after that, I started getting not only quotas, but 2 additional people would be unloading juice and water pallets with me, and make me go to lunch with them and on breaks. I quit in March to move to Virginia, but I would never work there again. In what weird dimension did this new manager think that 14 to 16 hours worth of work would get done in 8 hours? Like, even if it does happen, all of your employees are going to get burnt out. You're going to have a mutiny on your hands. If the girls have to wear the new uniform, then the boys will too. Many, many years ago, I worked in a small coffee shop on a university campus. Work was great, we had fun, and loved the owners. Unfortunately, after 2 years of working there, they retired. New owner came in, put up multiple cameras, like 8 in a 3x10 meter coffee shop, with all the cameras trained on the counter and staff areas. And used to proposition the girls, we were all university students, so 17 to 21 years old, that they would get extra shifts if they went home with him. If you argued back, then you got your work hours cut down to the bare minimum. A couple of months in, he decides that he's going to change the uniform. Our uniform was just a loose black polo shirt with the cafe logo, black pants, and closed shoes. Standard coffee shop staff attire. He decides that the uniform will change, but only for the girls. Now the girls will wear a midriff top with the cafe logo and low-rise pants. The boys still get to wear the old uniform. We argued that it was unsafe, hot coffee and plates of food next to bare skin, and got told, too bad, so sad. Staff got together and hashed out a plan. The first day of the new uniform, the girls showed up in the old uniform. The boys showed up in the midriff tops and the low-rise pants. The new uniform policy lasted an hour. Boss was not impressed. No one lost their job because our coffee shop was right next to the law faculty. One of the students had already had a conversation with her lecturer about what was going on. I'm pretty sure that if we'd been fired for non-compliance with uniform, that the boss would have found himself in far more trouble. Uniform policy or not, get that guy canned for harassment. This guy sounds disgusting. Talk to the hand. My wife gets fed up with me on a more or less daily basis. First anniversary in 3 days, woo! When she's particularly fed up, she will hold up her hand and suggest I talk to it instead. Now, whenever she does this, I grab her hand, hold it like an inch from my lips, make googly eyes at it, and whisper lustily, "Hi, I don't mean to be forward, but you have really nice fingers. You take such good care of your cuticles. That's a major turn-on for me. Do you mind if I hold you?" Stuff like that. She stopped making that suggestion pretty quickly. You can always trust a husband to figure out an even worse way to annoy you when you're already being annoyed. It's kind of our job. And that's all the time we have today for these malicious compliance stories. If you liked any of the stories, make sure to click that like button And please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any more stories. Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch you later.